There are epics that you should max, and there are ones that you should not. But I disagree with a lot of the other content creators about which ones are important and which ones are not. So I'm going to make this video. What's up guys, MtgJedi here, and before we get into today's topic, I'm very excited to announce the winner of our blanket contest from last week. I wanted to give it about a week for people to put their comments in there. Surprisingly low number of entries, guys. Let me just give you an example of what we're talking about here. Here's the one that I am using literally as we speak. My Black Lotus blanket over my legs here. You can't see it, but if I go like this, then you can see that it's right there. Rocking the Star Wars X-Wing shirt as well. Come on, you know how we do here. But you can get these at lavender.com. They have tons of other products related to Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon. I'm sure if there was another game or a special request, he would fulfill it as well. Great guy here. And so you can head on over there. I'll put the link down in a pinned comment for you to be able to get access to this. But the one that we're giving away today is the Chatterfang blanket. He's a Squirrel Lord. And so the winner of that is going to be... Wait, there we go. My dude, Christmas Manjaro, a huge supporter of the channel here. My kids would absolutely love the Kithkin blanket. Well, now you have a squirrel blanket to test out. I'd love to see pictures of you and your kids or just the blanket at your house in my Discord. So please join the Discord, message me, and I'll need your address so that I can ship it to you. But yeah, big congratulations, my dude. The blankets are amazing. I seriously use it every single day because my recording studio down here is in our basement and it gets chilly. And so I use the blanket every day. It is so comfortable. But big congratulations. I'm also going to do another giveaway in this video for you guys here. It's the end of the month. I have some more gems to give away. So comment below, what is your favorite faction? What is your favorite faction? Comment below. My favorite faction is, and why. Okay, my favorite faction is Skinwalkers because I love the humanoid animals. It stems from Thundercats, if I'm being honest with you. But for today's topic, we're going to go through, and I'm going to talk to you about every epic that is like a mandatory 6-star, okay? I will give you some honorable mentions as well, but I'm just going to, I'm not going to break them down. I don't want this video to be too long, but I know a lot of other YouTubers do these type of videos. I don't do them very often, but when I feel convicted, then I need to share, okay? For me, there's only one epic in this faction that is a mandatory auto build and a close second and third place. Close fourth place as well, okay? The only mandatory 6-star in this faction is Stag Knight. Fight me in the comments below. I look forward to engaging with you guys in the comments about your opinions as well. Stag Knight is the only mandatory 6-star in this faction in my opinion. Decreased speed on the A1, decreased attack, decreased defense on the A2, plus one of the coolest looking champions in the game, very survivable. His passive with the increased accuracy buff as well, so good. I do want to call out Archmage Helmet. I think he's a great champion that a lot of players can use. Is he mandatory? I would say no. You know, even endgame players still use Stag Knight, whereas not necessarily on Helmet. I personally love Seneschal, but he's more of a Faction Wars champion. I would also like to say that Warcaster is a pretty high priority for some people due to their unkillable clan boss teams. And Ursula is great as well, okay? And for me, that's it. That's it. That's all I have. I'm curious about this guy Arndolf, and somebody in the comments below is going to say, why are you throwing shade on Giscard again? because I don't think he's that good. That's why. The rest of them are not worth your time. Just take them to 50 for Faction Wars, guys. In High Elves, I think this one is way more obvious, but this is going to be Royal Guard, okay? Royal Guard is just better and better and better the longer the game stays available. So if you have one or two, build both of them, okay? His A2 with the enemy max HP is going to be helpful in Spider, in Hydra, in Doom Tower. Like there's so many areas of the game. You can use him in dungeons. He is an incredible champion. He also has decreased defense on his A1 and decreased speed on his A3. Plus the best, I mean, I don't know if it's the best, but like most usable aura all the time as well, attack in dungeons. So yeah, Royal Guard. I mean, definitely Tyrell is good. Definitely Vergis is good. Some people like Battle Sage. I don't know. Like, there's some other epics that are reasonable, but Royal Guard's the only mandatory one from High Elves. In Sacred Order now, we have only 2 champions that I would say are mandatory, okay? And the first one is Deacon, okay? Speed in all battles, turn meter increase, turn meter decrease, and the decreased defense. He is so ridiculous. And then Leech. When I'm doing takeovers on people's accounts, he's one of the go-tos for Arena, okay? I almost always build a Deacon for 3v3 teams because he's incredible. He allows you to do things that you shouldn't be able to do because he does the turn meter and he does the decreased defense. So Deacon is an auto build, and the other one is going to be Shamail. For Hydra rotations 1 and 2, he is critical and crazy important. If you have one, you need to build one. He also has the accuracy in Doom Tower battles. Not sure if you would ever use him there, but like his A3 ignores the defense. He can put True Fear when you're using him in Faction Wars. And then he will counterattack with this skill every time somebody puts a debuff on. So I personally like him in a Toxic set, but he's just great overall in the Hydra. And if you use him nowhere else other than Hydra and Faction Wars, that's definitely enough. Okay, I also want to say that Mordecai is insanely good. Do you need him at 60? No, he's perfectly fine at 50. Phoenix is great as well, but I think he's losing a little bit of his importance. But he's a fine person to 6-star. Lodric, I'm going to get hate for throwing shade at him. If you're building a Cardinal team, she can be great to 60. Godseeker can be great to 60 as well. But I think the only mandatory 60s are Shamail and Deacon. The other ones are good options, but not completely necessary. As far as Barbarians go, none of them. None of them are mandatory 60s. Not a single one. If you're going to be using Farrakhan in your clan boss team, then you could 60 him. He's a very good champion, no shade. High Katoon, tons of people use, but she's fine at 50 for the longest time. Sky Touch Shaman, she's great as well, but again, another champion fine at 50. I don't think any of these champions are mandatory 6-stars. I don't. As far as Ogryn tribes, obviously we're going to say Maneater's a mandatory 60. Okay, mandatory 60 on Maneater. If you have him, you're going to build an unkillable team unless you don't like them for whatever reason. He's in the best clan boss team, in my opinion. Bat Eater, best clan boss team. Other mandatory 60s. The only other one is going to be YuGiOh. The only other one. Decreased defense and block buffs. Insanely good. Faction Wars, Arena, Hydra. And plus she has the Cleanse Heal over here. Though once in a while we get a revive on this. We have the increased speed block damage. This is not going to come up often, but sometimes it does. And then the Leech on the A1. She's just so good. One of my favorite champions in the entire game. I would like to say Claude is a reasonable champion. Siege Hulk, reasonable. Skull Crusher, still very good. Grunch, very underrated. Occult Brawler, Grush. I think Towering Titan is underrated. And Ogryn, like, there are tons of epics here that are good. You just have to have a good reason to 6-star them. It's not Shatterbones even as well. The only two that are mandatory, though, in my opinion, is YuGiOh and Meter. And next on Lizardmen. There is multiple champions here that are mandatory 6-stars, unless you have a bunch of legendaries. Most people's Lizardmen faction wars look exactly like mine. Rosin's their only legendary, and then they're relying on epics for faction wars, and so you're required to 6-star like Broadmaw, Skathix, Qargin, okay? But outside of faction wars, there's no one that's really that important to 6-star, okay? If you need a cleanser, Skathix is a great option. If you need a reviver and a turn meter booster, Broadmaw is a great option. If you need a decreased attack champion for your clan boss team, Jareg is a good option. If you need a damage dealer, you probably shouldn't rely on Jarang and Basilisk, but they do a good job. I love Aox. I think Broodlord is great. So the majority of the epics are good, but I don't think any of them are mandatory unless you need them to beat Faction Wars. So that's where I stand with Lizardmen. In Skinwalkers, I think that, I mean, so currently, I do not have Basher 6-starred. But I actually think Basher's a mandatory 6-star. The only reason why I didn't 6-star him is because I have a giant pile of legendaries in this faction, and so this faction was not that hard for me to clear. Okay, what are we doing? Flesh Terror over here. Steel Skull can be used at 50. Hoffreeze can be used at 50. Rain Beast in a clutch situation in Faction Wars can be used at 50. Many people, Fane is an auto 6-star, okay? She is the all-star of most people's clan boss team. Okay, get some flavored water in me. But I think Basher is the one that applies to everybody. His Warlord-like ability is gaining more and more importance, especially with Stone Skin in our meta, guys. So if you have a Basher, it's time to rank him up. I will be doing so as well. Maybe we'll get a guide on him, maybe we won't. But he is on my list of to-dos. On Orcs, I mean, there's actually 2 mandatory 6-stars here, believe it or not. There's actually 2. Obviously, the first one is Seer, okay? The best wave clearer in the game, enemy max HP. She can put the buffs up, but a lot of times you don't. She has the extra turn on her A1, which is great because it helps you cycle through this long cooldown. And then the resist in all battles aura gets used a lot of times as well. I mean, one of the best epics in the entire game. I would have to give the best epic in the game to Maneater / Demitha as a tie, and then I would put Seer as number 3. But that's personal. That's my opinion. The next auto 6-star is going to be Vrask. And the reason why is because of his passive here, and then his A1. He boosts his turn meter, and he heals the team. You can build him with high HP and speed, and that's all you need. He doesn't need a single other thing other than HP and speed. I do recommend putting 200 or 300 resistance on him for Doom Tower, but man, he's just going to go in so many of your teams. Also, I love the way that he looks. I think he's an incredible looking champion. Rask, amazing dude here. And I think that if you have him, you need to 60 him. So he can be used at 50 until you have the chickens available, but at some point you're going to 6-star him. I also love Duck for his decreased defense, decreased attack. I also love Jorg, an incredibly underrated champion. Increase attack, turn meter fill, HP burn, revive. Great champion, especially if you have another lead. I love Sandlash Survivor. She lets you do some incredible things. And Tuhawk is growing in my heart as well. Zargala can be used as well in a pinch for decreased defense. She's just squishy. But the only mandatory 6-stars, in my opinion, is Seer and Vrask. Next up, we have Demonspawn. And in Demonspawn, we have a couple mandatory 6-stars. Okay, the first one is Allure. She is your Fire Knight, Doom Tower specialist, mostly just Fire Knight these days, but if you have her, you're building her, period. End of story. She doesn't need books. She needs crazy speed and accuracy, but her other abilities are helpful as well. They're not great, but they're helpful. It's mainly just her A1. The other mandatory 6-star is going to be Umbral Enchantress. Previously, it was for the AoE Provoke that I would have said this, for Faction Wars and for Arena, but now her block buffs 100% on a 3-turn cooldown, and she's Void, so she's just bonkers good in the Hydra. You can make her so survivable, and you're not going to run into any affinity issues because she's Void. Other good champions to build. Akoth for the 100% AoE HP burn. Vildrax is pretty good as well. Achak is great, but I don't necessarily think that you need him. And then Magnar is a go-to for most people as a damage dealer, so I'm going to add him in as the 3rd auto build. Gorlos and Tarshan are alright. Dur is fine at 50. I think Urtikata and Skimfos are alright. Padma is not an auto build, but she's the closest next thing. I just put her at 6 stars myself during the last champion training, but that was mostly for Faction Wars until I get to the harder levels in the Doom Tower where she's going to be critically important for her A1 places decrease attack on all the enemies. So that's it for the Demonspawn there. Allure, Magnar, and Umbral Enchantress, auto 6 stars. Knights Revenant, I would say that there's a bunch of auto 6 stars in this faction. I would definitely say that. You're gonna 6-star Rector Drath for Faction Wars. You're going to, okay? But she's really good in a lot of content in the game now, especially Hydra. If you have Miscreated Monster, you're gonna 6-star him as well. But then you'll find uses on and off for him throughout the length of your account. Still a champion I've never pulled. Sanacia and Skullcrown are auto 6 stars as well because of their great AoE damage. And so you can use them in Arena as well as in Faction Wars. I enjoyed using Sanacia for a short time in Hydra until they nerfed the Mastery. But the other main 6-star is going to be Doom Priest, okay? Obviously, you can use Sepulchre Sentinel as well, but unless you're using her on your Clan Boss team, you're probably not going to worry about it. So Doom Priest is the next auto 6-star because she just has this auto cleanse at the start of every turn. The rest of her abilities are completely unimportant. It's just her passive, right? But that's very important for a lot of content. Thylesia is alright. Maybe I need to give her more stock here. Auto 6 stars from Dwarves include Demitha, because she allows so many unkillable teams. I just built one yesterday. But also her A2 is an incredible healing ability, okay? She also puts continuous heal on with the block damage, which is cool. And, you know, she places the shield on the lowest HP. So she's a great support champion. I'm using her for Hydra, but a lot of people are going to be using her for Clan Boss. The second auto build is going to be Geomancer, one of the best champions in the game. Top 10 epic easily in the entire game because of his passive. He puts HP burn on and weaken, and then he just like fires off these giant bits of damage. He also removes buffs on his A2, which is great, and he has an AoE decrease accuracy on his A1, which is also great. Love this guy. HP in all battles, aura. Like, you just can't say enough about this guy. He's incredible. Build him immediately. If you have two, build another one. Grizzled Jarl lost a little bit, but he's still decent. Cornelia's decent. Phyla, maybe. Rearguard's decent. Rockbreaker decent. Melga decent. Fogbore decent. Runebreaker decent. The only one who you should never build is Bairdell. He's just terrible. I built Gala on my original account for Faction Wars and Arena. Rugnor is perfectly fine at 50, but You know, you can definitely use him in your clan boss team. Unkillable mostly. He's great in Spider 20 if you need the decreased defense and weaken. But the only auto builds in this faction for me are Geomancer and Demitha. And now we're here to the last one. I made great time in this video. There is only, well, would I say there's only one auto build here? I'm going to say two. I'm going to say two auto builds here, okay? The first one is one of the best arena nukers in the game, and that is, if we'll load here, Genbo the Dishonored. I did a champion guide on him this past week, so check that out on the channel if you're interested in more information about him. But he just ignores all of those, like, block damage stuff. You know, ignore unkillable buffs. He can steal buffs. He just has good damage multipliers. He's a solid champion. He really is. Plus, his aura is very helpful as well. The second auto build I want to say is Borenguri. And I've liked him more and more the more I use him. But he has the Strengthen and Shield. He has the AoE Stun. He has a Provoke on his A1, but what he's most known for is this heal. When an enemy or an ally dies, heals him by 50%. He's a great champion, and he might be at the bottom of your list to build, but at some point you're going to build him. I do like a lot of the epics from this faction. Taragi's great, Hotatsu's great. If you are early game, Hotatsu is an auto build as well. I'm going to throw my phone on the floor so it doesn't buzz at me again. Umitogi was great for me in Faction Wars. Sachi good for Faction Wars. Benchi can be good for Fire Knight as well as maybe your clan boss team. Gory we want to test. He might be alright. Jurajin has the decreased attack. Masamoto is alright. And Oboro can be great as well. But the only auto 6 stars is going to be Genbo and Borenguri. So that brings us to the end of the list, guys. No, we're definitely not buying 2 Sacreds for $50, Plarium. Get the heck out of here. Who is mandatory for your roster? Who is mandatory? Let's come down here and take a look at the epics I have maxed. You can see the majority of them were on that list. And either in the honorable mention section or in the... I feel like I missed some. Did I skip Undead? Let's back up here. Did I skip Undead and Dark Elves? Hold on. Pause the video, Jedi. You guys are shouting at me in the comments below, probably. Auto 6 stars in Undead, not Husk. I've been very underwhelmed, even in Hydra. Tell me otherwise. Seeker is going to be an auto 6 star, whether you are using him in Arena or in Clan Boss or in any other area of the game. He's definitely good in Faction Wars, some Doom Tower stuff. Auto 6 star. Gorgorab is going to be people's best speed champion for a while, so that's going to be an auto 6 star. I think Dark Elhane, believe it or not, I think she's underrated, and I'm going to work on her in the near future. Moz Mage is great. Bogoth is maybe an auto build as well. Okay, he's pretty close. He is an amazing champion. A lot of people use Annex for their clan boss teams as well, but I would say the only auto builds here are Seeker and Gorgorab, okay? And I think I skipped Dark Elves. I just skipped 2 random factions. Let's go straight to the end. Obviously, Madame Ceres is an auto build. She has the best decreased defense ability in the game because it removes all buffs. The rest of her kit's great as well. Caden's great, but you can use him at 50. Fang Cleric, I think he's underrated. Sylar's great, you can use her at 50. Spider, 50. Crimson Helm, I think, is decent. Rian the Conjurer is a Doom Tower champion, but she is really good, okay? She has this Revive, which is good. She has the AoE remove buffs and weaken, so she's like a similar but different champion to Madame Ceres, but she's going to be an auto build as well. Nobody's ever going to get Gwyneth, and it's really hard to get Dark Kael. I actually think that this champion is underrated. I'm going to be working on her. I think that she is close to an auto build for a lot of players. So make sure you subscribe to the channel if you want to see content on this lady. Let me know in the comments below who you want to see a champion guide on any of these epics as well. The only one that I'm going to say in this faction that is an auto build is Madame Saris, and when you get her, Rian the Conjurer. Did I skip anything else? I went from Demonspawn over to Knights Rev. Why? Why did I do that? Anyway, there we got all the factions. So do not buy this. This is the worst deal I've ever seen. It's like double or more what it should cost. So let's take a look at those epics again. These are all the epics that I have 6-starred, I think, on my account. The majority of them are ones that I told you are auto 6 stars, or at least in the conversation of good champions. There are some that I don't have, that if I get them, I will 6-star them. So those are the epic champions I have 6-starred. Let me know in the comments below who you would like to see a champion guide on, and don't forget to be able to win some gems in the gem giveaway, and that is by putting your favorite faction. So let me know all the things in the comments below, and thank you so much for watching. I'm MtgJedi. If you like these videos, hit the like button, and I'll do more of them. We'll see you guys later.